we've got a lot of information to go over in this video. What's shaking, bacon? So in today's video, there's a lot of new things that have happened in the last little while. So we'll start first of all with an update. My name's Bruno Panucci, and I was doing salt-free February. Now, how successful was that? Well, it wasn't perfect because 5 days in, I ended up having wings, and there was salt in the peri-peri seasoning, and I stuck with Carnivore all month, as always, and that's inevitable. I'm going to keep doing that. But what happened was, probably about after 2 solid weeks after that, without a lick of any salt whatsoever, I found I felt no different. Maybe a little more tired, got a little bit of eye gunk for some reason. Noticed some hair loss, actually. That's never good, but it always comes back whenever you change, whenever I change the minerals in my diet. What happened is I thought probably about the last few days, I think it was about a week ago, I ended up having wings again, and just the one day, and I thought, you know what, I didn't really notice a big difference, so I felt, so I'm going to have wings, and there's always salt with the wings when I get them, and there's some good things that came out of a month with no salt. One of the biggest things is I learned more about myself. I learned if I stick with enough red meat, which I did for the month, I stuck with the lion diet, other than those days I had wings, I felt fine cutting salt out, probably because I get enough natural sodium in the red meat. Now, I think it probably would have been challenging if I didn't have as much red meat as I was having, because I typically have ballpark 5 pounds a day, sometimes 4, sometimes 6, depends on how busy I am, depends on how much food I prepared, and also depends on how lean the cuts are, because quite frankly, I can have more food when it's a lean cut of meat, even red meat, versus a fatty cut of red meat. So some cool things as well is I noticed I got used to having my ground beef without salt. I'm fine with having it without salt now, so ground beef is usually my staple, and I really enjoy regular ground beef without any salt. I don't miss that. I thought I would because I put a lot of salt on my food. So that's one big change for me. It's weird how with the ground beef, I don't mind if there's no salt. But when it comes to a steak, I really want salt on the steak. I'm going to go out and get some white pepper because I stopped having black pepper a few months ago because I noticed, I assume it's the oxalates, cause a little bit of joint inflammation in my ankles and knees. So white pepper apparently doesn't do that. So I'm going to give that a shot. I just keep forgetting to go on Amazon and find out how much it is and where I can get it from. So I'm also interested in getting some Slap Yo Mama seasoning. A lot of carnivores talk about that. It's not available up in Canada, so I will be ordering it from the States. And it's been a really good month overall. I thought it would be way more challenging going a month without salt, but I was fine with it. A couple other new things. I'm starting a new challenge for the month of March and April. And if I like the way the challenge is going, I'm going to continue it in May and June. Now, I'm not going to be doing a strict lion diet. It's going to be very heavy on red meat, though, because I'm a big fan of red meat. I find it the most satiating. But I found I really like having crispy wings, and I'm probably going to keep that up every now and then. Back in September, I did a 4-month workout plan and a lion diet, and I had as much meat as I wanted in a day. Now, the thing was, there was no rules when it came to that. I could eat as much or as little as I wanted. I found if I had too little food, my sleep really suffered. So I ended up going for probably usually around 5 pounds a day. At least 4.5 pounds a day would help me sleep okay. I also noticed if I eat later at night, say at 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm warm all night when I'm going to sleep. And I notice it doesn't just happen with red meat, though it lasts longer through the night with red meat. I notice I stay warm, and it's probably not till about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning I start having to put sheets or blankets on. So I don't sleep as comfortably when I'm warm. I'm going to be sticking with about 4 pounds of meat a day. I might go up to 5, but I'm going to be in that range between 4 and 5 pounds of meat. I'm going to try and stay away from the 6 pounds of meat, only because I want to see how I respond to 4 or 5 pounds of meat tops in a day. So I am down. I just did a bod pod on March 1st for this new challenge I'm doing. I'm probably not going to do a DEXA scan until maybe the end of this challenge, just to see where I am when it comes to the DEXA scan numbers. But this bod pod exam I did, the numbers came out really good. So what happened was, and I'll bring the numbers up on screen. I'm down from September 1st when I started my challenge. Now, I had been doing carnivore steady all year of 2021, but I did that challenge from September till January 1st. And what happened was I've lost 19 pounds since then. Now, that sounds a little discouraging that in 6 months, I only lost 19 pounds. But here's the really wicked part. If you look over here, it's all fat. I have probably lost half a pound of muscle in the last 6 months in total when you look at where I started to where I'm finished for March 1st, but I'm only down half a pound, like just over half a pound of lean mass. So that lean mass comes down to organs, muscle mass, and bone density. So when you look over here, I'm down 3% fat in total, which I look and it's like, it's not really a lot of weight in the last 6 months. I was hoping to lose maybe twice as much, to be honest, but I'm going to take this. And why? Because it was 19 pounds of just fat that I lost doing this way of eating. And that's keeping full on a carnivore diet. 19 pounds of just fat. When people say they want to lose weight, they always kind of give themselves a bit of a head game because they say they want to lose weight, but what they don't realize is they want to lose just fat, but they're losing both lean tissue and fat. And we don't want to lose dense tissue. We want to lose just fat, of course, right? So when someone looks and they get a little discouraged. They think, I want to lose some weight. And the scale just went up a pound or two when I started carnivore. You got to keep in mind, you're putting on lean tissue. You're helping your bone density get more dense and you're helping your muscle mass go up. So you're probably going to put on a little bit of weight in the beginning. It's not uncommon, but you got to pay attention to inches on the waist. Don't pay attention to the numbers on the scale and look at my BOD results. BOD is like a DEXA scan. It tells you all information from your lean mass to your body fat percentage to your resting metabolic rate. And my resting metabolic rate is just over 2,400 calories a day. That's at rest. So when I get active through the day, I'm closer to, between my workouts and my activity, I'm probably at around 3,600 calories in a day. What I am doing differently for this challenge compared to the last challenge and the way I've been doing carnivore for the last 14 solid months is I'm going to have multiple small meals a day. Multiple small meals a day, just like when you do a bodybuilder's diet. It's 3 meals and 3 snacks in a day. I'm going to give that a shot for the next 2 months at least, just to see how my body responds to that, because I like the idea of multiple small meals in a day. It's a little more work because, let's face it, it's easy only having 1 or 2 meals in a day. And my rules have always been eat till I'm satisfied and eat whenever I'm hungry. If I'm hungry, I'm doing something wrong. And there's the odd time I would have a bit of a stretch longer than I wanted without food in the last year and a half, but it was usually because I was obligated to be somewhere else and I just couldn't get away to have something to eat. That happened every now and then, but it was pretty rare. But now I'm going to try and make sure to have 5 to 6 meals a day and keep my protein consistent through the day and see if that makes a difference with my workouts. Last time that I did this challenge, I put on about 4 to 5 pounds of lean mass in the first 2 months. And I also lost my lean mass after that first 2 months. It's probably because my workout didn't change. I was hoping that the fact that my weights and lifts would keep getting heavier and heavier and heavier over that 4-month challenge. But I think what happened was my body just adapted to it. So I'm going to be starting with supersets in March, and come April, I'm going to switch over and I'm going to do drop sets. Now, supersets are when you kind of go back and forth between 2 exercises and keep the rest time really low. It's like a circuit training routine. I'm going to change it up in April to shock the body so that I'm going to start doing drop sets. So basically you lift a heavy weight and then you drop the weight by, say, 20%. And then you lift that till you can't lift it anymore. And then you drop the weight 20%. And then you just keep doing that till you get down to a really embarrassingly small weight. And then my goal is going to be between a 15 and 20 minute long weight routine workout, but they're going to be very efficient workouts. When you do supersets and you do drop sets, what happens is it's a good way to keep your heart rate up. So that's going to be my cardio for the 2 months. Now I do plan on getting my ski erg in there. That's a cardio machine. I don't want to do long steady state cardio. Steady state cardio burns your metabolism up, and we don't want that. It's okay to do short bursts of steady state cardio, but not long bursts. So I like to stick to no more than 20 minutes, and I'll probably do 15 minutes on average when it comes to the cardio. And it's going to be done like a HIIT workout. So I'll go really intense on the machine, and then I'll ease off for a little bit. And I'll get really intense again for as long as I can, and then I'm going to ease off. So it'll probably be 30-second bursts, almost like 30-second sprints. And then rest, and then back to the sprinting. And you keep that up for about the 15 minutes. My goal for March and April is between 4 and 5 pounds of meat a day. Exercise between 15 and 20 minutes with weights, supersets, and then the next month is going to be drop sets. And I'm going to have salt in the month. I'm going to stick to white pepper instead of black pepper, see how that helps my joints. And I'm going to be measuring how this works with my blood glucose monitor, because I started using a blood glucose monitor just a couple weeks ago. And I want to see how this affects my blood glucose. Now, my range stays in a perfect range. I have no complaints when it comes to my blood glucose. It's in a safe range all the time. The more even my blood sugar is throughout the day, the better chance I'm going to have less insulin spikes throughout the day. And multiple small meals in a day, and on top of the fact that it's a carnivore meal, it's going to keep any insulin spikes really low, because it'll keep my blood sugar managed even better than just on a carb-free diet. So it'll be really interesting. This was a good way to start. Like I said, I'm down 19 pounds of just fat in 6 months. So let's see if I can get that down a little bit more. Now, my overall weight might go up with this, because I'm going to be putting on lean mass, hopefully, as I burn fat. So going down to 4 pounds of meat a day, I think I might burn a little bit more fat than I did in my last challenge from September till January. But I'm hoping, because of the way I'm taking the protein in, I'll get more than a 4 or 5 pound increase in lean mass each month. So if it's still going well in March and April, I might keep this up for another month or two and see how that goes. But I'm going to play this by ear, honestly. So it's a 2-month minimum commitment. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun this week. My friends Jackie and Karen have started their own YouTube channel. I'll try and post a link somewhere in mine. I'm not sure. I've never done that before. They're called the Carnivore Twins, so check them out on YouTube. Their channel's designed to be really fun and engaging, and they just did a video about eating head cheese, and it was a pretty fun video to watch. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I got a new microphone, so you might notice a difference in the way I sound. I've been getting some comments lately on my YouTube channels of people wanting to start carnivore, and they're asking how. And the one thing I keep pushing is, more than anything, when you're starting something like this, is to find a tribe and try and find people to do this with. If you're starting it, especially, I had one person who's coming from a vegan background. So it's really good to try and find people that can support you through this. So there's Zeroing In on Health. There's a few good carnivore Facebook groups you can find on social media, but there's also different people that offer coaching groups. Now, I go to Kelly Hogan's coaching group, and I have to admit, it's really good. She's an expert at what she does. So I hope you guys check that out. If you're contemplating on doing carnivore sometime, it's going to be a lot easier if you do it with really experienced people. There's other new people in the group, and you can talk on Facebook with this group of about 30 people. So she has lots of classes available. It's been really beneficial and helpful for me, and I've seen a lot of other people do really well with it, and it's going really well. And they keep coming back every month, so it's working really well for people. And you can find Kelly Hogan on Instagram and on YouTube. Just type in her name, Carnivore and Kelly Hogan. I'm really bad when it comes to the tech end of things about putting links, so I'll see if I can figure out how to put a link to Kelly Hogan's YouTube page. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. This one might be a little bit longer than my usual ones, but there's a lot of information to go over, and I hope you're doing well. Take care. Touch base soon.